Every once in a while, a quarterback comes along who lights up college football and turns heads in the NFL preseason. They have that kind of electric presence that makes fans wonder if they might just be the next big thing. Trevone Boykin was one of those quarterbacks. A dual-threat playmaker with arm talent, speed, and charisma. At TCU, he was a star. With his Seattle Seahawks, he looked like a diamond in the rough. But then, just as quickly as he rose, Boykin fell, and fell hard. Off-field controversies, legal trouble, and bad decisions turned promise into tragedy. This is the story of Trevone Boykin, the hidden star who had all the tools to succeed, but lost it all. Trevone Boykin arrived at TCU in 2011. Relatively unheralded, but brimming with raw potential. A native of Mesquite, Texas, Boykin had a chip on his shoulder. Despite his athleticism and quarterback instincts, top programs weren't sold on his ability to play the position at the highest level. TCU gave him a shot, and they wouldn't regret it. He started as a backup, but quickly made a name for himself in 2012 when starter Casey Patchall was suspended. Boykin's early play was raw. He threw more interceptions than touchdowns, but there were moments where he flashed elite potential. He could make things happen with his legs, extend plays, and create magic out of broken situations. By his junior year, everything clicked. Boykin transitioned from a raw athlete to a legitimate star. In 2014, he threw for nearly 4,000 yards and added over 700 rushing yards, accounting for 41 total touchdowns. Under his leadership, the TCU Horned Frogs soared to a 12-1 record and dominated Ole Miss in the Peach Bowl. He became the face of the team, and fans believed he was the missing piece that could bring national glory to TCU. Boykin finished 4th in Heisman voting that year, narrowly missing an invitation to New York. Yet his name was etched into the national conversation. Analysts praised his growth, citing his improved pocket presence, downfield accuracy, and command of the offense. He was electric, a highlight reel waiting to happen. His senior season in 2015 was equally impressive. Despite missing time due to injury, Boykin threw for over 3,500 yards with 31 touchdowns and rushed for over 600 more. In a wild double overtime Alamo Bowl, his team staged one of the greatest comebacks in bowl history, though he wasn't on the field for it. His absence became one of the biggest stories of the postseason.
Quarterback Trevone Boykin has been suspended from Saturday's Valero Alamo Bowl game after he was arrested overnight in San Antonio. Boykin threw a punch and allegedly struck an officer attempting to break up a scuffle outside of a bar.
He also set numerous school records during his college tenure: most passing yards, most total touchdowns, and the highest total offense numbers in TCU history. His dynamic play helped bring national recognition to a program often overshadowed by larger schools in the Big 12. He even earned comparisons to players like Russell Wilson and Johnny Manziel thanks to his elusiveness and backyard football instincts. Off the field, however, warning signs were beginning to appear. There were whispers of attitude issues, poor decision-making, and a tendency to put himself in risky situations. Coaches worked tirelessly to help him mature, and for a while, it seemed like he was on the right track, but that wouldn't last. Just when Boykin's college legacy seemed ready to close on a high note, it all unraveled. Days before the Alamo Bowl, he violated curfew, went drinking in San Antonio, and got into an altercation at a bar. When police intervened, Boykin struck an officer and was immediately arrested. TCU suspended him from the game. National headlines didn't focus on the incredible comeback that the team pulled off without him. They focused on Boykin's arrest. He went from being the program's golden boy to a cautionary tale overnight. The incident led to public criticism. Former players and analysts voiced disappointment, while fans felt betrayed. It was more than just missing a game. It was a symbolic end to a career that had once looked limitless. NFL scouts were watching closely. The incident overshadowed his stellar college career. Teams began questioning whether he had the temperament to be a professional. He's got talent, no doubt, one scout reportedly said, but we're not sure if we can trust him to lead a locker room. Despite his impressive resume, Boykin went undrafted in the 2016 NFL Draft. The Alamo Bowl incident likely sealed his fate. Still, his phone rang. The Seattle Seahawks took a chance on Boykin, signing him as an undrafted free agent. They saw his potential and figured that under the mentorship of Russell Wilson, he might develop into a reliable backup, or even more. Boykin shined in the preseason. His debut featured a last-second Hail Mary against the Chiefs that left fans stunned. He moved confidently in the pocket, made throws on the run, and extended plays with ease. His poise was impressive. Seahawks coaches praised his command of the offense and his composure under pressure. He made the 53-man roster as Wilson's backup. In regular season play, Boykin had limited opportunities, just 5 appearances, but he completed 72% of his passes, threw a touchdown, and showed flashes of what made him so dangerous at TCU. Behind the scenes, teammates and coaches alike were impressed with his work ethic. "He's one of those guys who can make magic happen," said one teammate. "If he just keeps his head on straight, the sky's the limit." Seattle seemed like the perfect environment for Boykin to develop. He had structure, support, and mentorship, but the demons from his past hadn't been left behind. There were also glimpses in practice and training camp that fueled speculation Boykin could someday become a starter elsewhere. Analysts began discussing potential trade value. He was young, gifted, and in the right system. All he needed was to stay focused. But trouble wasn't far behind. Despite his promising performances, the lack of real playing time kept him from proving himself fully. And with every passing season, the pressure to show growth mounted. Unfortunately, the patience that Seattle had started with began to erode. In 2017, trouble came knocking again. Boykin was in a car that crashed into a Dallas bar, injuring multiple people. Though he wasn't the driver, he was arrested for public intoxication and possession of marijuana. Just over a week later, he was arrested again for violating his probation. The Seahawks stuck with him, temporarily. They believed in second chances. But in 2018, the final blow came. His then-girlfriend accused him of brutal assault. According to her, Boykin beat her so severely in a hotel room that her jaw was broken in multiple places. She blacked out. Photos of her injuries circulated online. It was horrifying. Boykin denied the accusations, but the Seahawks had seen enough. They released him immediately. Later that year, he was charged with aggravated assault and eventually sentenced to 3 years in prison. His NFL career was over, not because of injury or decline in skill, but because of repeated, serious, and violent off-field behavior. Boykin had gone from a promising NFL backup to a prisoner in less than 2 years. His story served as a sobering reminder of how quickly it can all unravel. One moment, you're the face of a franchise in waiting. The next, you're out of the league entirely. The fall wasn't just dramatic, it was heartbreaking. For fans who had followed him since TCU, it felt like a betrayal. For coaches who had vouched for him, it was a bitter lesson. And for Boykin himself, it was an irreversible detour from the NFL dream. Following his release from prison, Boykin attempted to resurrect his football career. He joined lower-level leagues, playing for indoor and arena teams. In 2023, he signed with the Galgos de Tijuana in Mexico's Liga de Fútbol Americano Profesional, hoping to recapture a piece of what was lost. He played well in Mexico, flashes of the old Boykin returned. He was still fast, still elusive, still had the arm strength to wow fans. But the spotlight was gone. The cheering crowds of NFL stadiums were replaced with small arenas and semi-pro support. He posted training videos online, gave the occasional interview, and hinted at personal growth. He talked about redemption. But the league had moved on. Teams no longer called. Fans who once wore his college jerseys now remembered him more for his criminal record than his stats. Still, some fans held out hope. Maybe, just maybe, he could complete a redemption arc, but reality rarely works like movies. Boykin continued to train, mentor young athletes, and occasionally express remorse for his past mistakes. Yet, a full public apology never materialized. His supporters pointed to systemic failures and a lack of emotional support, while critics emphasized his repeated offenses. To many, Boykin's story is one of caution, not just about squandered potential, but about the fragile nature of opportunity. In a league where careers are short and reputations matter, every decision counts. Boykin's missteps were not isolated, they were a pattern, and the consequences followed accordingly. Boykin's story stands out because he had everything a modern NFL quarterback needs: arm strength, mobility, improvisational skill, and confidence. His playing style was a perfect fit for the league's evolving offenses, especially in Seattle. He had the tools to become something special. Yet time and again, he sabotaged himself. Every time he got a break, he found a way to blow it. Not because he lacked talent, but because he refused to learn from his mistakes. It's impossible not to wonder, what if Boykin had stayed focused? What if he had taken the right mentorship to heart? Could he have been the next Dak Prescott? The next Russell Wilson? A late-round gem who outperformed expectations? The NFL is full of talent, but success comes down to more than just skill. It's all about professionalism, resilience, and accountability. Boykin had the game, but he did not have the mindset. And that might be the saddest part of all. Talent alone isn't enough to survive in the NFL. Boykin's raw ability could have made him a franchise quarterback. His downfall was a product of his choices, not his limitations. He could have been a story of perseverance and triumph. Instead, he's remembered for missed opportunities and violent headlines. What separates the greats from the forgotten often isn't talent. It's the choices they make when no one is watching. Trevone Boykin had everything you want in a quarterback, but what he lacked was just as important: discipline, maturity, and accountability. His story is a cautionary tale for young athletes everywhere. Talent opens the door, but character, that's what keeps you in that room. It's a reminder that the NFL isn't just about what you do on the field, but who you are off it. Teams invest in people, not just players. Let us know in the comments. What do you think could have been if Boykin stayed on the right path? And who else do you think deserves a deep dive? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more NFL stories, breakdowns, and what if moments every week.